So the two players out for the US Open final, ATP US Open final, the fourth tennis Grand Slam of the season at the US Open, as the players are out with the players' intros for the start of the match. Taylor Fritz and Jannik Sinner. So, so the so the so the match starting in a few minutes. The two players just having a hit pre-match. So with the players having a pre-match hit going into this US Open final with these players, Jannik Sinner and Taylor Fritz, at the Grand Slam tennis tournament. Well, for Jannik Sinner, with one Grand Slam title trophy, winning the Australian Open this season, and first US Open final for Jannik Sinner in this tournament. Best result at the French Open and Wimbledon semi-finals. Best result at both of those Grand Slam tennis tournaments. As for Taylor Fritz, best result at the other Grand Slam tournaments, quarterfinals, the Australian Open, quarterfinals of Wimbledon, and the fourth round of the French Open, and then in this US Open tournament, a first Grand Slam final for Taylor Fritz in this match. So the first service game of the match, Taylor Fritz, they serve to centre, clips top of net and a bit out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Start of the match, Taylor Fritz, serve centre of the box, Jannik Sinner, backhand return. Taylor Fritz for one, bit of depth, Jannik Sinner, backhand return, backhand to backhand, then Jannik Sinner forehand to left with a bit of depth, and then Taylor Fritz forehand to right, and then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So love 15 on this Taylor Fritz service game, the first service game of the match. Jannik Sinner striking a forehand winner on the first point. Taylor Fritz with a serve just hits the net, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre of the box, Jannik Sinner backhand return with depth to centre, Taylor Fritz for one, and Jannik Sinner backhand to right, bit of depth, Taylor Fritz with backhand, bit of depth, then forehand to forehand ball striking. But the last shot of the rally, the forehand from Taylor Fritz to the centre just out, so love 30 on this Taylor Fritz service game in the first service game of the match. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, Jannik Sinner forehand turn, and Taylor Fritz strikes right to left with depth. And then Taylor Fritz towards the net, and Jannik Sinner, the backhand shot return to the right, just hits the net. So 15-30. Taylor Fritz with a serve to centre with depth, Jannik Sinner forehand return to right, and then Taylor Fritz a backhand, Jannik Sinner forehand to right, a bit of depth. And then after Taylor Fritz shot, backhand to backhand, ball striking second, backhand Jannik Sinner, and then forehand to forehand, Taylor Fritz a forehand to right, a bit of depth, Jannik Sinner forehand to left with a bit of depth. Forehand of about 3 each, and then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. But the second backhand from Taylor Fritz to the left is just out, and it's 2 break points for Jannik Sinner in the first service game of the match on this Taylor Fritz service game, 15-40. So 15-40, 2 break points for Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz with a serve just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box with depth, Jannik Sinner forehand turn, Taylor Fritz forehand to right, a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand to left with a bit of depth. Forehand to forehand ball striking of 2 forehand shots each, 3 forehand shots each. Forehand from Taylor Fritz to left with a bit of depth, Jannik Sinner backhand slice down, a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz forehand to left with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner returns and a bit further forward. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, bit of hand and next shot. Taylor Fritz just by the net, strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 30-40 So break point, Jannik Sinner. 30-40. So 30-40. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand block return to the centre with depth and in. And then Taylor Firtz with an overhead smash to the right, but just out. And Jannik Sinner leads the first set with a breaker serve after the first service game of the match. Jannik Sinner with a breaker serve on returner serve in the first service game of the match. A breaker serve on return for Jannik Sinner on the Taylor Firtz service game. So Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner leads the first set of a breaker serve. Jannik Sinner with the next service game of the match in this first set. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Firtz one turn. Jannik Sinner strikes one to left with depth, and Taylor Firtz with backhand turn, a bit of depth to right, and Jannik Sinner with a shot, and then backhand to backhand ball strike. Second backhand Taylor Firtz, and Jannik Sinner with forehand to right, a bit of depth, and Taylor Firtz with forehand to right, a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner shots there for a bit of depth. Taylor Firtz returns, and then forehand to forehand ball striking. The forehand to the right from Jannik Sinner had depth, and then Taylor Firtz with a forehand return shot to the left. It's a bit out. So 15 love, 13 shot rally on that point. 15 love on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve towards wide. A wide serve just hits the net from Jannik Sinner, so second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, bit of depth. Taylor Firtz backhand turn. Jannik Sinner strikes one to right, bit of depth. Taylor Firtz strikes one to left with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a bit of a short angle backhand to the right, but just out. So 30 love. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth. Taylor Firtz backhand block returns with a bit of depth up, but then Jannik Sinner forehand with depth right. Taylor Firtz turns, and then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 40 love. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre of the box with depth. Taylor Firtz returns, then forehand to forehand. And the forehand to the right from Jannik Sinner had a bit of depth, and Taylor Firtz with a forehand to left after that. It's a bit out, so that service game is held, and Jannik Sinner maintains the breaker serve lead in the first set. Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, and it's an ace. So 15 love. 118 mile per hour serve wide from Taylor Firtz and an ace. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Fritz reserve centre box with depth. Jannik Sinner beforehand return to the centre, just out. So 30 love. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre of the box. Jannik Sinner forehand return, bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand ball striking. And then two backhand shots each. Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left with depth, and Jannik Sinner with forehand return. And then Taylor Fritz with a forehand to the centre with a bit of depth. And then Jannik Sinner with a forehand shot to the left, just out. So 40 love. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box with depth. Jannik Sinner with a backhand block return to the left, a bit out. So that service game is held. Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to centre of the box depth. Taylor Fritz forehand return depth to the centre. And then Jannik Sinner a forehand to the left, just out. So love 15 on this Jannik Sinner service game. Taylor Fritz striking a forehand with depth to the centre on that point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner, a serve centre of the box. Taylor Fritz a backhand return with depth to the right, just out. So 15 all. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return to the right, and it's a backhand return winner ace from Taylor Fritz. Off that Jannik Sinner serve, backhand return winner ace, struck to the right by Taylor Fritz. Off a Jannik Sinner serve, 15-30. Jannik Sinner with a serve wide with depth. Taylor Firtz with a backhand turn forehand. Jannik Sinner backhand to backhand. Taylor Firtz second backhand to left. Jannik Sinner second backhand to the right. And it's just out. So 15-40 and 2 break points for Taylor Firtz on this Jannik Sinner service game. 15-40. After a bit of a ball striking rally on that last point. Double break point for Taylor Firtz. 15-40 on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of depth. Taylor Firtz backhand return. Just over the net. But then just by the net, an overhead smash to the right by Jannik Sinner, and it's a winner. So 30-40. So break point Taylor Firtz. 30-40. So 30-40. Break point Taylor Firtz. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the central serve depth. Taylor Firtz down. Jannik Sinner back and right a bit depth. Taylor Firtz a return with depth. Then a bit after forehand to forehand. Then Taylor Firtz with a backhand just hits the net. So juice on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth. Taylor Firtz backhand return to right. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So potentially a point on the next point for Jannik Sinner to hold this service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box just out and double fault. So juice. Jannik Sinner with a serve, a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Juice. And second serve, Jannik Sinner with a serve, with central serve. Taylor Firtz backhand turn of depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand to right of depth, and then backhand to backhand. And Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand bit of depth to left, and Jannik Sinner bit of return to right of depth, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner with forehand, backhand rather, return shot to left, but a bit out, and break point Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz struck a backhand to left with depth, and then a break point for Taylor Firtz. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Firtz backhand block return. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand drive volley to the left, but just hits the net. And the first set is level on serve. So level on serve in the first set. Next service game, Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a serve to centre with depth. Jannik Sinner, backhand block return, a bit out, so 15 love. Central serve with depth by Taylor Firtz on that point of 130 mile per hour serve. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner returns and Taylor Firtz strikes one to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner fine return. Taylor Firtz strikes another forehand to the right with depth, but just out, so 15 all. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return with depth to the centre though, and Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to left, but just hits the net, so 15-30. Jannik Sinner returning a forehand with depth. Taylor Firtz with a serve, just hits the net, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. 15-30. Taylor Firtz with serve centre box. Jannik Sinner backhand turns left, and Taylor Firtz strikes fine to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Firtz a backhand, and Jannik Sinner forehand bit of depth to left, and Taylor Firtz fine to the right. Fine to left from Jannik Sinner. Taylor Firtz with a shot to left, and then two shots each or so, and Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. 30 all. Forehand winner, struck to the right by Taylor Firtz after a bit of a ball striking rally. 30 all. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a serve centre of the box depth. Jannik Sinner backhand turn. Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the left, but just out, and it's 30-40 and a break point for Jannik Sinner. So break point Jannik Sinner, 30-40. Break points won in the match. 1 out of 2, so half of them won for Jannik Sinner and 1 out of 3 for Taylor Firtz. Break points won at this point in the match. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre. Just out, so second serve. Taylor Firtz with a second serve, centre box. Jannik Sinner backhand turns right, and Taylor Firtz with backhand serve for a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand to right a bit of depth. Backhand Taylor Firtz left with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return, and then backhand to backhand. Ball striking backhand Taylor Firtz, forehand to left with a bit of depth from Jannik Sinner, forehand to left with depth from Taylor Firtz, and then backhand to backhand. And then Jannik Sinner with a forehand to right with a bit of depth, and Taylor Firtz a backhand slice return on the line, and then forehand, and then Jannik Sinner a forehand to the right, and Taylor Firtz a backhand to the centre, a bit of depth, and then forehand, and then Jannik Sinner a forehand to centre, and Taylor Firtz strikes forehand to the right with depth, and then Jannik Sinner returns with a forehand to left with a bit of depth, but just out. So juice on this Taylor Firtz service game. Longest rally of the match at this point of 23 shots on that point just played. Average forehand topspin speed 80 miles per hour for Jannik Sinner and 83 miles per hour average topspin forehand speed for Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a serve to centre of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand block return just hits the net. So potentially a point on the next point for Taylor Firtz to hold this service game after a serve with depth to the centre on that last point. .124 mile per hour serve on that last point. Taylor Firtz with a serve with a central serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve. Jannik Sinner backhand returns right, and Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand return to the left, just out. So that service game is held, and it's on serve in the first set. So Jannik Sinner, next service game, on serve in the first set. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace. Ace from Jannik Sinner. 125 mile per hour serve to the centre, and an ace on that point from Jannik Sinner. So 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Fritz backhand turn, and Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand serve, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz a backhand strut to the left with depth near the line, and Jannik Sinner a forehand return to the left just hits the net. So 15-0. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of depth. Taylor Fritz backhand return, and then Jannik Sinner hits the forehand to the right, but a bit out, so 15-30. So Jannik Sinner service game, 15-30. Jannik Sinner with a serve towards wide, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner, serve centre box, Taylor Fritz backhand return, struck to the right with depth, but just out. So 30-all. First serve percentage in the match, 61% for Jannik Sinner, 50 for Taylor Fritz at this point in the match. Jannik Sinner service game, 30-all. Jannik Sinner for wide serve depth, Taylor Fritz forehand return. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a shorter angled forehand to the right, and it's in. So a forehand winner from Jannik Sinner. So 40-30. Forehand winners in this match from shots. 4 for Jannik Sinner, 2 for Taylor Fritz at this point in the match. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth. Taylor Fritz one return to the centre with depth, and then forehand to forehand. And then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left, but just hits the net. So that service game is held and still on serve in the first set. Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve. Maybe just out, but another serve still for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of depth. Jannik Sinner returns with backhand to the right, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left, but a bit out, so love 15. Taylor Fritz with a serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box with a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand return just hits the net, so 15-all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box with depth, and Jannik Sinner's forehand return over net, and then backhand to backhand ball striking of 2 backhand shots each. Second backhand to the right from Jannik Sinner at depth, and Taylor Fritz returns. After 1 shot each or so, Jannik Sinner with a backhand to left, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand rather to the right, and Jannik Sinner returns, then forehand to forehand. After 2 forehand shots each, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand to the right, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand to the right, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right just after that, but just out. So 15-30 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box, just out, double fault, and 2 break points for Jannik Sinner. 15-40. Taylor Fritz with a serve just hitting the net, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve, centre box, Jannik Sinner backhand turn, Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand left with depth, and then forehand to forehand. Second forehand, Jannik Sinner to the right, second forehand, Taylor Fritz to the centre with depth. And then after 1 shot each or so, Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz with forehand to the left. And then Jannik Sinner with forehand to the right, Taylor Fritz with forehand to the centre, and Jannik Sinner with backhand to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz sends, and a forehand drop shot to the right by Jannik Sinner, and Taylor Fritz can't quite get enough to it, and Jannik Sinner leads the first set with a breaker serve. So Jannik Sinner service game. Next service game, Jannik Sinner leads the first set of a breaker serve. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the centre just out. So Taylor Fritz just won a point. So love 15 on the Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve was serve to the centre of the box just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. And Jannik Sinner with a serve centre of the box, bit of depth. Taylor Fritz backhand return to the left, and Jannik Sinner forehand to the right. Taylor Fritz backhand to the left, Jannik Sinner forehand, bit of depth to the right. And then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the right just after that, but just hits the net. So 15-all. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. 15-all. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and Taylor Fritz strikes the forehand to the right, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the left, bit of depth, Taylor Fritz forehand, Jannik Sinner forehand. Backhand Taylor Fritz, Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right, bit of depth, Taylor Fritz strikes the backhand to the left with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and then forehand to forehand, and Taylor Fritz with a forehand to the left just after that, just out, so 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth, and Taylor Fritz gets a bit of forehand racket on it, but can't get the ball much further after 123 mile per hour serve from Jannik Sinner with depth to the centre on that point. 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a central serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to centre. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return to the centre just out. So that service game is held, and Jannik Sinner maintains the breaker serve lead in the first set. Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box, and Jannik Sinner with backhand turn, and backhand to backhand ball strike, and Taylor Fritz with backhand to left for a bit of depth, and then Jannik Sinner returns to a backhand to the left, near enough to the line, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand after that to the left, but just hits the net. So love 15 after a backhand with depth from Jannik Sinner to the left on that point, near enough to the line. Taylor Fritz with a central serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand, return with a race to the left. So love 30. Jannik Sinner has won 9 of the last 10 points. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve. Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz backhand, and then forehand to forehand ball strike, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner front to right bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left with a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand left clips off it and over, and Taylor Fritz shot with depth. Jannik Sinner returns to backhand to backhand forehand. Jannik Sinner backhand Taylor Fritz struts to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns and forehand Taylor Fritz, and Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a bit of a backhand size shot return, but just hits the net, and it's love 40. 3 set points for Jannik Sinner to potentially lead this US Open final by 1 set to love. So 3 set points for Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, bit of slice on it, and an ace. So 15-40, 118 miles per hour, a bit of slice on it to the centre, and an ace from Taylor Fritz. So 15-40, double set point for Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a Serve centre of the box. Jannik Sinner backhand return to right and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand serve for depth. Jannik Sinner returns to backhand to right and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand serve for depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return to right and Taylor Fritz strikes one to right with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return. Then one shot each or so. Jannik Sinner hit a forehand to the left with depth and Taylor Fritz returns in a bit further forward. Jannik Sinner forehand drive volley to the right, but a bit out. So 30-40. So set point Jannik Sinner. Set point Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box. Jannik Sinner forehand return to the right with depth. But maybe a let serve. Another serve still for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve. So yeah, let second serve. So another let serve. So let second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand turn and backhand Taylor Fritz left with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand to right. And then backhand to backhand a bit. But Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left struck, but just out. And Jannik Sinner leads the US Open final by 1-0. So Jannik Sinner, first service game of the second set. 15-love. Jannik Sinner just won a point. 15-love. Jannik Sinner service game. First service game of the second set. Jannik Sinner for wide serve depth. Taylor Fritz backhand block returner forehand drive volley from Jannik Sinner to the right with a bit of depth, and Taylor Firtz strikes the forehand passing shot to the left, just out. So 30 love. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre and an ace. Ace from Jannik Sinner with a central serve of 121 miles per hour and an ace with that serve from Jannik Sinner on that last point just played. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve depth over its backhand turn, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. And Jannik Sinner holds that service game to love on the first service game of the second set. Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a bit of forehand racket on it, but can't get the ball much further, so 15 love. Wide serve with depth from Taylor Firtz on that last point just played. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, bit of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand turn, backhand to backhand. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the centre, a bit out. So 30 love. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return. Taylor Firtz strikes forehand to the right with depth, and then Jannik Sinner with forehand slice, and Taylor Firtz with short forehand slice, and Jannik Sinner onto it. Just by net, with backhand slice shot to the left, and it's a winner. 30-15. Taylor Firtz with wide serve depth. Jannik Sinner backhand returns right. Then Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the right with depth a bit further forward, and Jannik Sinner hits a forehand passing shot to the left with the next shot, but just hits the net. So 40-15. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, and it's an ace. An ace from Taylor Firtz with a wide serve at 113 miles per hour and on serve in the second set. So, Jannik's in a service game on serve in the second set, at the start of the second set. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Firtz strikes forehand return to the centre with depth, but just out. So 15 love after wide serve with depth from Jannik Sinner on that point just played. First serve points won at this point in the match, 15 out of 20 for Jannik Sinner and 9 out of 15 for Taylor Firtz. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, clip stop net, but not quite over the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre of the box, and Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand return to the right with depth. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand return to the centre, but a bit out, 15-0. Taylor Firtz striking a forehand to the right, off returning a Jannik Sinner serve on that point, 15-0. Jannik Sinner with a serve just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner, who was central serve, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand return to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner a forehand return shot to the right just after that, just out. So 15-30. Taylor Firtz striking another return with depth off a serve with a backhand to the right on that point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box depth. Taylor Firtz turns, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right a bit further forward, and it's a winner. 30 all. Forehand winners at this point in the match. 7 for Jannik Sinner and 2 for Taylor Firtz. Jannik Sinner. The wide serve, and it's an ace. Ace from Jannik Sinner. 116 mile per hour wide serve and an ace. So 40-30. 3 aces each off serves for both players in this match at this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre to wide serve of the box just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. And Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, and Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand return to left with depth, but just out. And that service game is held. So still on serve in the second set. So Taylor Firtz service game, and Taylor Firtz just won a point, so 15 love. Taylor Firtz service game, 15 love. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve and an ace. Ace from Taylor Firtz. The wide serve at 122 miles per hour. 30 love. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre and an ace. 2 aces in a row for Taylor Firtz. That one a central serve and an ace at 130 miles per hour. Fifth ace of the match, Taylor Firtz. 3 for Jannik Sinner in this match. At this point, Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box. Jannik Sinner backhand return just hits the net. So Taylor Fritz with a holder serve to love. So one serve still in the second set. On serve in the second set. Next service game, Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve with a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return to the right, but just out. So 15 love, 114 mile per hour serve, a bit of depth from Jannik Sinner on that point just played. 15 love, Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve, clips top of net and over the net in. So let first serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to centre, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. And Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, but Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return with a race to the left. Backhand return with a race struck to the left by Taylor Fritz off returning a Jannik Sinner serve on that point just played. So 15-0 on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to centre, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box. Taylor Fritz strikes forehand return, serve with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return and a bit further forward. Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to left, but just hits the net. So 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return centre. Then forehand ball striking, and a forehand to left by Taylor Fritz is struck, but just out. So 40-15 on the Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre and just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return, but a bit out. So that service game is held and still on serve in the second set. So Taylor Fritz service game. 15 love. Taylor Fritz for a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand turn to left with depth. And Taylor Fritz strikes right to the right with depth. And Jannik Sinner returns. But then Taylor Fritz a bit further forward. Strikes a forehand to the left. And it's a winner. So 30 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. And Jannik Sinner gets a bit of forehand racket on it, but can't get the ball much further. So 40 love. Wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz on that point just played. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner gets a bit of backhand racket on it, but can't get the ball much further. So Taylor Fritz holds that service game and still on serve in the second set. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace. Ace from Jannik Sinner, 122 mile per hour serve to the centre. 4 face the match for Jannik Sinner. Off serves, 6 for Taylor Fritz in this match at this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, but just hits net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. And Jannik Sinner, he serves centre box, Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand, returns to left, bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner returns with backhand to right, bit of depth, backhand to backhand, and forehand Taylor Fritz to left, struck with depth. Near enough to the line, and Jannik Sinner returns with a backhand shot to the right, but just hits the net. So 15-all. Taylor Fritz striking a forehand to the left, near enough to the line on that point. So 15-all on the Jannik Sinner service game. On serve in the second set. Jannik Sinner. They serve centre box depth. Taylor Fritz turns, and Jannik Sinner strikes one to the right, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz shots left with a bit of depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right with depth, but just out. So 30-15. So 30-15. First serve points 1, second set. 10 out of 10 for Jannik Sinner. 10 out of 11 for Taylor Fritz. For first serve points 1 in this second set. 30-15. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner. He serves centre box with depth. Taylor Fritz backhand turn. A forehand drop shot to the right by Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz onto it with backhand slice shot to the right, but just out. So 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre. Taylor Fritz strikes backhand, returns to left with depth. Jannik Sinner returns with a backhand to the right. And Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand after that centrally, but just hits the net. So that service game is held for Jannik Sinner and still on serve in the second set. So Taylor Firtz service game, 15 love on this Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre and an ace. An ace with a central serve from Taylor Firtz at 121 miles per hour, so 30 love. 12 points in a row, one with service points for Taylor Firtz. 7th ace of the match for Taylor Firtz from serves. Jannik Sinner with 4 aces from serves in this match at this point. And Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand return to the right just out, so 40 love after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return to the right with depth, and Taylor Firtz gets a bit of forehand slice shot to the ball, but it hits the net a bit, so 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a backhand return with depth on that point, 40-15. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with a bit of angle and depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand return just hits the net, so that service game is held. So on serve in the second set, 4-all. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner serve centre box. Taylor Firtz backhand return to right, and Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to left with a bit of depth. Taylor Firtz backhand turn. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left. And then backhand to backhand ball strike, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to left near enough to the line. And Jannik Sinner returns, then forehand to forehand. And then Jannik Sinner with a forehand to centre with depth, and Taylor Firtz with a backhand to right, and Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to left with depth. Taylor Firtz backhand slice turn, Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right with depth, and then Taylor Firtz with a forehand slice just hits the net. So 15 love after a bit of a ball striking rally on that point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a bit of depth. Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand return with a bit of depth, and then Jannik Sinner with a forehand shot to the right just out. So 15-all. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre of the box with depth. Taylor Firtz one return. Jannik Sinner with a drop shot to the right, and it's spot on. A forehand drop shot winner to the right from Jannik Sinner. 30-15. Serve with depth from Jannik Sinner. Taylor Firtz one return, but then Jannik Sinner with a forehand drop shot to the right, spot on, and a winner with the shot. Good forehand drop shot to the right from Jannik Sinner on that point. Just played. 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre of the box with depth. Taylor Firtz with a backhand return to the right with depth, but just out. So 40-15. First serve points won in the second set. 14 out of 16 for Taylor Firtz. 13 out of 13 for Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth. Taylor Firtz backhand return. Jannik Sinner with a forehand with depth. Forehand to forehand ball striking with depth of 2 forehand shots each, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner backhand to left with a bit of depth. Taylor Firtz with a central backhand bit of depth, and after a shot or so, Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the left just out. So that service game is held, and still on serve in the second set. So, Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz will serve to the centre and just out. So, second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to centre with depth. Jannik Sinner, forehand return to the right, and Taylor Fritz with backhand to left, and Jannik Sinner with forehand to the right, near enough the line. Taylor Fritz returns, and backhand slice Jannik Sinner centre, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right, but just out. So, love 15. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to the right, and then Jannik Sinner forehand return to the left. Then forehand to forehand, ball striking of 2 shots each with the forehands, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left, but just hits the net. So love 30 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre with depth, backhand block return by Jannik Sinner, a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So 15-30. Forehand winner struck to the left by Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a second serve, Jannik Sinner backhand return. Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return and backhand to backhand. Then Taylor Fritz with a backhand serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return. And then a third backhand from Taylor Fritz. Struck centrally, but just hits the net. And it's 2 set points for Jannik Sinner. Double set point on this Taylor Fritz service game. 15-40. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz, the serve centre box. Jannik Sinner, forehand return, and then forehand to forehand. Jannik Sinner, forehand to left with a bit of depth. Taylor Fritz with a forehand to left, and then backhand to backhand, and then Jannik Sinner with a backhand to right. Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left. And then after a shot or so, backhand to backhand. Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left with a bit of depth. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the left with depth, and Taylor Fritz gets a forehand size shot return, but just hits the net. And Jannik Sinner leads the US Open final by 2 sets to love. So Jannik Sinner, first service game of the third set. Jannik Sinner, the wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and Taylor Firtz strikes forehand return with depth to the centre. And Jannik Sinner with backhand return, shot to the right after that, just out. So love 15. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, a bit out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner serve centre box, Taylor Firtz with a backhand return to the centre, stroke with depth, and then forehand. Jannik Sinner forehand to the left with a bit of depth, and Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand return, a bit out. So love 30 on this Jannik Sinner service game. First service game of the third set. Jannik Sinner with a serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and Taylor Firtz strikes for forehand return, bit of depth, and then forehand. Taylor Firtz strikes one to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand return, shot to left, just hits the net. So 3 break points for Taylor Firtz on this Jannik Sinner service game. Love 40. Break points won at this point in the match. Half of them won for Jannik Sinner, 4 out of 8. 1 out of 3 for Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre with depth. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth, rather. Taylor Firtz returns. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right, struck with depth, and Taylor Firtz gets a backhand slice shot to it, but just hits the net. So 15-40 on this Jannik Sinner service game, rather. 15-40 on this Jannik Sinner service game. 2 break points for Taylor Firtz. 15-40. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box, and Taylor Firtz strikes one. Return, and then backhand to backhand, and then Jannik Sinner with backhand to right, and Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns with forehand. Then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to left with depth, and Taylor Firtz turns, and then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, to the left rather, strikes a forehand to the left a bit further forward, and it's a forehand winner. So 30-40 and break point Taylor Firtz. 30-40. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth, and Taylor Firtz with a forehand return, struck to the left but just out after a serve with depth from Jannik Sinner, a central serve at 117 miles per hour. So juice. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre and an ace from Jannik Sinner of 100 with a 128 mile per hour serve rather to the centre. 5th ace of the match from Jannik Sinner off serves. 7 for Taylor Firtz. Potentially a point on the next point for Jannik Sinner to hold this service game in the first service game of the third set. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Firtz with a backhand return over the net, but just by the net, Jannik Sinner with an overhead smash to the right, and it's a winner. And that service game is held. Jannik Sinner holds the first service game of the third set. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner returns with depth. And backhand to backhand, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand drop shot to left. Taylor Fritz onto it, backhand to right. Taylor Fritz in it. Jannik Sinner backhand return. Taylor Fritz volleys. And then Jannik Sinner returns. But then Taylor Fritz with another backhand volley, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand volley to the right, a bit out. So 15-love on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a serve to centre with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand returns right, and Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to left with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner's backhand to the left, strike with depth, and then Taylor Fritz with a shot return to the right, just out. So 15-all. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box with depth, and then forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right, and Taylor Fritz with forehand to right. Then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner with backhand to the left, but just out. So 30-15. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return, just out. So 40-15 after a wide serve with depth on that point just played by Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace. Of 130-mile-per-hour serve to the centre, and that service game is held. So on serve at the start of the third set. So Jannik Sinner service game. On serve in the third set. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with serve to the centre. Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return to the right, and just out. 15-love. Jannik Sinner with serve centre box with depth, and then backhand to backhand. And Taylor Fritz with backhand. Jannik Sinner backhand to left. Backhand to backhand of 3 backhand shots each, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a short angled forehand to the right, but just out. So 30-love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to centre. Taylor Fritz backhand return to right, and Jannik Sinner returns. And Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, then backhand to backhand. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the centre, and then with depth, and then forehand to forehand ball striking. But the last shot of the rally, a forehand from Jannik Sinner to the centre, just out. So 30-15. Jannik Sinner serve with depth. Taylor Firtz returns with depth. And then Taylor Firtz strikes forehand to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns to backhand. Backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner forehand to left with depth. And then backhand to backhand. And the last shot of the rally. Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the right. And it's a winner. 40-15. Backhand winner to the right by Jannik Sinner. So 40-15. Jannik Sinner, a serve to centre, just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner, the wide serve with depth. Taylor Firtz a forehand turn, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner to hold that service game. So on serve in the third set. So Taylor Fritz service game. And Jannik Sinner just won a point, so 15-all on this Taylor Fritz service game. On serve in the third set. $15-all. Taylor Fritz with a serve towards wide, just hits net, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return and in. But then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. 30-15. Taylor Fritz a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner with backhand return, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the right, just hits the net. So 30-all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner with forehand return to the left, and then Taylor Fritz with a forehand, and then backhand to backhand. And A backhand from Jannik Sinner just out, so 40-30. Taylor Fritz with a serve with depth to the centre of the box, and Jannik Sinner forehand return a bit out, so that service game is held for the third set to still be on serve. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with serve centre box. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand, turns to the right with depth, and then after a shot or so, forehand to forehand with depth, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the right with a bit of depth. Taylor Fritz turns, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand slice return to the right a bit out, so 15-love. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box just hits net, so second serve. Serve centre of the box from Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz turns with depth, and then forehand to forehand. Forehand struck to the right by Taylor Fritz with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Fritz a bit further forward, strikes a forehand to the left. And Jannik Sinner gets a bit of backhand racket to it, but can't get the ball much further. 15-all. Taylor Fritz striking forehand to the right, and then the left with depth on that point. Maybe not quite backhand racket from Jannik Sinner, maybe just a forehand winner. Well, I'll say that, good forehand winner. Maybe not just a forehand winner. Anyway, 15-all on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner was served to the centre of the box with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand return just hits the net after a serve with depth from Jannik Sinner at 124 miles per hour, so 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box just hits the net, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre box. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return with depth to the centre, just out, so 40-15 on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve centre box just out, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre just out, so double fault, 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a serve with a central serve, and then Taylor Fritz with a return with a bit of depth, but then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner to hold that service game, so still on serve in the third set. Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz service game. 15-all. On serve in the third set. Winners from shots in this match, 21 for Jannik Sinner and 22 for Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a centre of the box over depth, and then forehand ball striking. Jannik Sinner forehand to right with a bit of depth. Taylor Firtz forehand to left. And Jannik Sinner with a shot to left with depth, and then backhand to backhand ball striking of 2 backhand shots each. And then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the left, but just out. So 15-30 on this Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the central depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return a bit further forward. Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the right, but just out, and double break point for Jannik Sinner, 15-40. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre of the box, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand return to the right just out, so 30-40. Break point, Jannik Sinner, so 30-40. Break points 1 at this point in the match, 4 out of 9 for Jannik Sinner, 1 out of 6 for Taylor Firtz. Taylor Firtz with a serve just hits the net, so second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a serve centre box, Jannik Sinner backhand return, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to left with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Firtz with forehand to left, and then forehand ball striking, and then Taylor Firtz with a forehand to the right, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and then backhand to backhand. Backhand to the right from Taylor Firtz, backhand to the left from Jannik Sinner. Backhand, Taylor Firtz, forehand, Jannik Sinner, and then backhand to backhand. And then Taylor Firtz with a forehand to the left, Jannik Sinner with a shorter angled forehand to the right, just out. So juice on this Taylor Firtz service game. 21 shot rally on the last point just played. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand block return. And then just by the net, Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So potentially a point on the next point for Taylor Firtz to hold this service game. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a serve centre to the box, and Jannik Sinner backhand turn, and Taylor Firtz with forehand to left, and then forehand ball striking, and Taylor Firtz forehand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then forehand to forehand, and Taylor Firtz with forehand, and Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner to hold that service game. So still on serve in the third set. So on serve in the third set. Next service game. Jannik Sinner, next service game. On serve in the third set. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with serve centre box and Taylor Fritz with a forehand return centre. Jannik Sinner returns. Taylor Fritz forehand to right. Jannik Sinner backhand turn. Backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right. Clips top net and over. And after a shot or so, forehand to forehand. Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the left with depth. Taylor Fritz returns. But then Jannik Sinner in there with a forehand volley to the right. And it's a winner. 15 love. Jannik Sinner striking a backhand to the left with depth after forehand to forehand, and then after a backhand slice return shot from Taylor Fritz, Jannik Sinner at the net with a forehand volley to the right, and it's a winner. So 15 love. Net points won in this match, 8 out of 12 for Taylor Fritz and 6 out of 9 for Jannik Sinner at this point in the match. Jannik Sinner with a serve towards centre of the box, just hits net, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point rather. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre box, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return to the centre with depth, and Jannik Sinner turns, and Taylor Fritz strikes one to the right with depth, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner with a backhand to left, then Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left, and then forehand to forehand, but the forehand from Jannik Sinner to the centre is just out. So 15-0. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with serve centre box. Taylor Fritz with a forehand return. Forehand of 2 shots each. And then Taylor Fritz with a forehand drop shot, and Jannik Sinner onto it with a backhand lob from Taylor Fritz. And Jannik Sinner returns a backhand lob. And then an overhead smash just by the net by Taylor Fritz to the left, and it's a winner. 15-30 after a 10-shot rally on that last point just played. 15-30. Drop shot Taylor Fritz, and then backhand Jannik Sinner, backhand lob Taylor Fritz over Jannik Sinner, and then a backhand lob return from Jannik Sinner from Taylor Fritz's backhand lob, and then Taylor Fritz on the last shot of the point with an overhead smash to left just by the net, and the winner. So 15-30. Jannik Sinner serve to the centre of the box, just hit the net. So second serve on this point for Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve. Taylor Fritz backhand return to the right, and Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz forehand to the right, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner with backhand to left, then Taylor Fritz with backhand centre. Backhand to backhand. Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and then Taylor Fritz with a backhand volley to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, but then on the next shot, Taylor Fritz with a forehand volley to the left, and it's a winner. And it's 2 break points for Taylor Fritz. After winning a point in a 12-shot rally, 15-40, and 2 break points for Taylor Fritz on this Jannik Sinner service game. 2 break points for Taylor Fritz. Two break points for Taylor Fritz, 15-40 on this Jannik Sinner service game. 2 break points for Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz has just won a point, and Taylor Fritz leads the third set with a breaker serve. Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz leads the third set with a breaker serve. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre. Clips the top of the net and over the net. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve. This is second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve, just out, double fault. So love 15. Taylor Firtz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return, backhand to backhand ball striking, backhand Jannik Sinner. Taylor Firtz strikes one to left, backhand to backhand ball striking, and Jannik Sinner over forehand to left just hits the net. So 15 all. (30-15) on this Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz has won 8 of the last 10 points. Taylor Firtz will wide serve depth. Jannik Sinner backhand block return over net. But then just one in that, Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand winner to the right, 40-15. Taylor Firtz will wide serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz will serve to the centre just out. So double fault and 40-30. Service points won in the third set, 16 out of 24 for Taylor Firtz and 14 out of 24 for Jannik Sinner. Taylor Firtz with a serve with depth. Then forehand to forehand. And then a forehand from Taylor Firtz a bit out. So juice on this Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz a wide serve with depth and Jannik Sinner a forehand return, but can't get the ball much further. So potentially a point on the next point for Taylor Firtz to hold this service game. Taylor Firtz has just won a point to hold serve and maintain the breaker serve lead in the third set, and then Jannik Sinner just wins a point, so 15 love on this Jannik Sinner service game. Taylor Firtz just held serve to maintain the breaker serve lead in the third set. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth. Taylor Firtz forehand return to the right, just out, so 30 love. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, but just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out, so double fault in 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, just out, so second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return to the left, just out. So 40-15 on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner was served to the centre of depth. Taylor Fritz with a backhand turn, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, a bit further forward depth, and Jannik Sinner towards net, and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand passing shot to the right, just out. So that service game is held. So Taylor Fritz with the next service game. Jannik Sinner just won a point, love 15 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz leads the third set with a breaker serve, but love 15 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of depth. Jannik Sinner with a forehand return. And then a bit further forward, Taylor Fritz with a forehand to right. Jannik Sinner with a backhand return. And then Taylor Fritz with a backhand short of volley to the left. And Jannik Sinner's onto it with a forehand side shot to the right. But just hits the net. So 15-all. Taylor Fritz struck a forehand to the right. Jannik Sinner with a backhand return. And then at the net, Taylor Fritz with a shorter backhand volley to the right. And just enough. Even with Jannik Sinner getting to it, Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve centre box. Jannik Sinner with a forehand return. Taylor Fritz with a forehand. Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right. Taylor Fritz with a forehand to the right. And then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner with a backhand to left for a bit of depth. Taylor Fritz with a backhand to the right. Backhand Jannik Sinner, 3 backhand shots each. And then forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right with a bit of depth. And Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right, but just out. So 15-30 on this Taylor Fritz service game. After Jannik Sinner winning a point in a 14-shot rally on that last point. Taylor Firtz, very wide serve depth. Jannik Sinner, the backhand return to the right with depth, but just out. So 30-all after a serve with depth from Taylor Firtz on that point just played. 30-all on this Taylor Firtz service game. Taylor Firtz, very serve to central depth. Jannik Sinner backhand turn. Then Taylor Firtz a backhand to left, and then forehand to forehand. And then Jannik Sinner, a forehand strut to the left, and Taylor Firtz a backhand turn. Then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right with depth. And Taylor Firtz with a forehand slice shot return to the left, a bit out, and it's a break point for Jannik Sinner, 30-40. Break points won in this match at this point. 4 out of 10 for Jannik Sinner. Break point for Jannik Sinner on this next point. 30-40. Taylor Firtz with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve for Taylor Firtz on this point. Taylor Firtz with a serve to centre of the box, and Jannik Sinner a forehand return to left, and then Taylor Firtz a backhand to right, backhand to backhand. Taylor Firtz a backhand to right, Jannik Sinner a backhand to left, and then Taylor Firtz strikes a backhand to the right, and then Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Firtz with a backhand to the right stroke, and Jannik Sinner returns. And after a shot or so, Jannik Sinner with forehand drop shot to the right, Taylor Firtz onto a forehand slice. Jannik Sinner with a backhand return to the right, and Taylor Firtz a forehand volley, but just hits the net. And the third set is level. The third set is level, with Jannik Sinner breaking serve on return of serve on that Taylor Firtz service game. So level in the third set on serve. So 5-all on serve in the third set. Jannik Sinner, next service game in this third set. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner serve centre of the box depth. Then forehand ball strike, and Taylor Firtz with forehand to the left. Jannik Sinner forehand to the right. And then Taylor Firtz with forehand to the left. Jannik Sinner forehand to the right. And then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the right, but just out. So 15-love. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of depth. Taylor Firtz with a forehand shot return, just hits the net. So 30-love after a central serve with depth from Jannik Sinner on that point just played. A central serve at 119 miles per hour. Jannik Sinner winning 8 of the last 10 points. Both players winning 8 or 9 of the last 10 points here and there in this match. 30-love. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre box. Taylor Firtz strikes forehand, returns to left with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand turn. And then Taylor Firtz strikes a forehand to the left. And it's a winner. 30-15. Jannik Sinner quite the returner. Taylor Firtz with a big serve and power ball striking. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, clips top of net and out. So double fault and 30-all on this Jannik Sinner service game. 5-all, 30-all in the third set. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Fritz for on return to right. Then Jannik Sinner with a backhand struck to left with depth. Taylor Fritz returns with a shot with depth, and then a shot also, and forehand to forehand, and then backhand to backhand. And Taylor Fritz with a backhand to the right with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return to left, and then backhand to backhand still. And again, but the last backhand from Taylor Fritz, the last backhand shot from Taylor Fritz in the rally to the right is just out, so 40-30. So potentially a point on the next point for Jannik Sinner to hold this service game. Jannik Sinner with a serve to central depth. Taylor Fritz one return over net. But Jannik Sinner just by net with a forehand struck to right with depth. Taylor Fritz returns with a lob shot to the left, but just out. And that service game is held, so on serve in the third set. So Taylor Fritz service game on serve in the third set. Taylor Fritz with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve. Oh, second serve just played. So double fault and love 15 on this Taylor Fritz service game. First serve got played, and then Anyway, Taylor Fritz with a serve, and then two shots each or so, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand to left with a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz with a forehand return, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right with depth. Taylor Fritz with backhand return to the left, just out. So love 30 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Jannik Sinner striking a forehand to the right with depth on the last shot by Jannik Sinner in that point, in the point just played in that rally. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return to left, and Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to right with depth, and then forehand ball striking of about 3 to 4 shots each or so. About a fifth forehand or so from Jannik Sinner, and then Taylor Fritz. Jannik Sinner with a forehand. Taylor Fritz with a backhand with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand. Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand with depth to left, and then Jannik Sinner returns with a backhand with depth as well. And then forehand to forehand with depth. Taylor Fritz with a forehand struck to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns. Backhand with depth from Taylor Fritz. And then forehand to forehand, ball striking with depth. And then Jannik Sinner with a forehand drop shot to the left. And then Taylor Fritz turns with a forehand drop shot to the left as well. And Jannik Sinner gets to it with a backhand slice shot to the right, but just hits the net. So 15-30. Backhand to backhand, forehand to forehand, forehand drop shot to forehand drop shot in that point, in that rally just played. (15:30). Taylor Fritz with a wide serve depth. Jannik Sinner, backhand block return to centre. Then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left with depth. Jannik Sinner returns. Then just behind that, Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand drive volley to the right, but a bit out. And it's 15-40 and double championship points, 2 championship points, 2 match points for a US Open trophy potentially for Jannik Sinner. 15-40. (15:40). Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a serve to centre. Jannik Sinner forehand return to centre. Forehand to forehand. 2 forehand shots each. 3 each. Backhand Taylor Fritz to left, and then Jannik Sinner with a backhand to right. And Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left. Jannik Sinner forehand return centre, and then a 1 shot each or so, and then Jannik Sinner with backhand to right. Taylor Fritz with backhand to left. Jannik Sinner with backhand to left, and Taylor Fritz with forehand to centre. Jannik Sinner with forehand to the left. And Taylor Fritz with forehand just hits the net. Game, set and match. Jannik Sinner. And Jannik Sinner with a second Grand Slam trophy. An Australian Open 1, and in this match, a US Open 1. Jannik Sinner wins in the US Open final by 3 sets to love for a second Grand Slam trophy. 6-3, 6-4, 7-5.